They say that in Hong Kong, there are phone numbers you should never call. Numbers that appear on your screen at 3 a.m. Numbers that ring even when your phone is turned off. Numbers that connect you to places the living were never meant to reach. But what they don't tell you is that sometimes the dead call you first. This is a true story. Or at least, that's what I keep telling myself. Because if it isn't true, then I've lost my mind. And if it is true, then I've lost something far worse. If you are enjoying my stories and want to continue watching new upcoming videos, please like and subscribe so I can continue to bring you stories in the future. Thank you for your support. What I'm about to tell you happened 15 years ago in a call center in Hong Kong. The building no longer exists. The company denies any knowledge of these events. And most of the people who worked there that summer have either left the city or refused to speak about what happened. But I was there. I answered the phone. And now, I need you to understand something important before I begin. If you've ever worked a night shift in Hong Kong during the 7th lunar month, if you've ever felt the urge to answer a phone that shouldn't be ringing, if you've ever heard voices on the other end of a line that was supposed to be disconnected, this story is for you. Because you need to know the truth. You need to know what's really on the other end of the line. And you need to know that they're still calling. In Hong Kong, the 7th month of the lunar calendar is known as the Hungry Ghost Month. It's believed that during this time, the gates of the afterlife open, and spirits roam freely among the living. Most people know the basic precautions. Don't stay out too late, don't whistle at night, never sit in the front row of empty chairs left for ghosts at street performances. But there's one rule that nobody talks about anymore. A rule that was carefully erased from public knowledge 15 years ago, after what happened at the China Mobile Call Center in Kuntong. My name is Marcus, and I was a customer service representative at that call center. I'm recording this from a payphone in Macau because I can't risk using my mobile phone anymore. Not after what I learned. Not after what I answered. It started on the first day of the 7th lunar month, 15 years ago. I was working the night shift, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., a shift nobody wanted because of the superstitions. But I needed the money, and I didn't believe in ghosts. I was 23, educated in the UK, too rational for what I considered peasant superstitions. The call center was on the 15th floor of an industrial building, the kind that Hong Kong has thousands of narrow, poorly ventilated, packed with offices and workshops. Our floor was open plan, with 50 cubicles, but during the night shift, only 5 of us worked. The fluorescent lights would flicker occasionally, and the air conditioning made strange noises, but that was normal for an old building. Around 2 a.m., my phone rang. Extension 4444. If you know anything about Chinese culture, you know that 4 is the unluckiest number. It sounds like the word for death. Buildings skip the 4th floor, there's no 4th button in elevators. Having 4 fours? That should have been my first warning. I picked up anyway. China Mobile Customer Service, this is Marcus speaking. How may I help you? Static. Heavy, wet-sounding static, like someone breathing through water. Hello? Can you hear me? I asked in Cantonese. Then, a voice. A woman's voice, but wrong somehow. Too many tones at once, as if 3 people were speaking in unison, slightly out of sync. I want to make a complaint. Of course, ma'am. What seems to be the problem? I've been trying to call my son for 7 days, but he won't answer. I need you to connect me. I pulled up the account system. Could you provide me with your phone number, please? She gave me a number. I typed it in. The account had been terminated. Status: deceased. The date of termination was 7 days ago. I felt a chill run down my spine, but I tried to stay professional. Probably just a glitch in the system, or maybe a family member using a dead person's phone. Ma'am, I'm showing that this account has been. I know I'm dead, she interrupted, her voice crackling. I drowned in Tolo Harbor 7 days ago. I walked into the water with stones in my pockets. But my son won't answer his phone. He needs to know I'm not angry anymore. He needs to know I forgive him. My hand was shaking. This had to be a prank. One of my coworkers messing with me because I was the new guy. Ma'am, I'm afraid I can't. Please. And now her voice was just one voice, clear and desperate and so sad it made my chest hurt. Please. I just want to tell him I forgive him. Can't you connect me? Just once? I don't know why I did it. Maybe it was the desperation in her voice. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was something else. I pulled up her son's number from the account records and initiated a 3-way call. The phone rang. Once. Twice. Then a man answered, groggy with sleep. Way? I'm sorry to disturb you so late, sir, I said, but there's someone who wants to speak with you. I connected the line. Silence. Then, sobbing. From both ends of the call, the woman and the man, crying together. Mom? The man whispered. Mom? Is it really you? I forgive you, she said. For the things you said. For the fight. I know you didn't mean it. I was sick, Ajay. I wasn't thinking clearly. But I forgive you. Please, forgive yourself. They talked for 7 minutes. I know because I timed it. The call lasted exactly 7 minutes, and then the line went dead. Not disconnected, dead. Complete silence. As if the phone line had never existed. I sat there, shaking, staring at my screen. The call log showed nothing. No record of the conversation. Just empty space where 7 minutes should have been. I thought about reporting it, but who would believe me? I convinced myself I'd fallen asleep, had a strange dream, stress and superstition playing tricks on my mind. Then, the next night, extension 4444 rang again. This time, it was a man. His voice sounded like he was speaking through a mouthful of broken glass. I need to tell my wife where I hid the money. For our daughter's education. She's going to lose the flat if she can't find it. Sir, I don't think. I died on a construction site in Wan Chai 3 days ago. Fell 15 floors. They said it was an accident, but the foreman cut the safety cables to save money. I need my wife to know where the money is. Please. I should have hung up. I should have called my supervisor. Instead, I connected the call. His wife answered. She screamed when she heard his voice. She screamed, and then she started writing down instructions. Behind the wardrobe, in a box, $50,000 in cash. That call lasted 3 minutes, exactly 3 minutes. Then, silence. After that second call, I told my supervisor, a middle-aged woman named Mrs. Chan. She went pale when I described what happened. Extension 4444? She asked. That extension hasn't been active in years. We had it disconnected after. She stopped herself. After what? I pressed. She made me promise not to tell the other workers. Then she told me the story. 20 years ago, there was a receptionist at this call center named Ming. During Hungry Ghost Month, she started receiving calls from dead people. Just like me. At first, she helped them, connected them to loved ones, passed on messages. She thought she was doing a good deed. But the calls increased. Every night, more and more ghosts would call. They all wanted something. Forgiveness. Justice. To say goodbye. To confess. To accuse. The line between the living and the dead started to blur. Mei Ling became obsessed. She stopped going home. She would come in even on her days off, waiting for the calls. Her family said she started talking to people who weren't there. She insisted that the ghosts needed her, that she was the only one who could help them. One night, during the peak of Hungry Ghost Month, The security guard found her at her desk. She'd been dead for 3 days. Heart failure, the coroner said. But she was still holding the phone. And according to the guard, when he approached her, he could hear voices coming from the receiver. Dozens of voices, all talking at once, all begging for help. They disconnected extension 4444 after that. Had a Taoist priest come to perform rituals, sealed the phone line. It should have been impossible for it to ring again. You need to stop answering, Mrs. Chan told me. Tell them you can't help them. Hang up immediately. But that night, extension 4444 rang again. I stared at it, my hand hovering over the receiver. I should follow Mrs. Chan's advice. I should ignore it. But what if someone really needed help? What if there was a message that needed to be delivered? I picked up. Customer service, this is Marcus. This time, there were many voices. A chorus of the dead, all speaking at once. Men, women, children, elderly, all desperate, all hungry for connection. Please help us. I need to tell my daughter. My husband must know. They need to find my body. I was murdered. I didn't mean to. Please, please, please. I slammed the phone down. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely type. But when I looked at the phone, the light for extension 4444 was still blinking. The call was still active. I picked it back up. The voices were louder now, more insistent. And then, one voice cut through all the others. Clear, familiar. It was Mei Ling. You shouldn't have answered, she said. Her voice was tired, infinitely sad. Now they know you can hear them. Now they'll never stop calling. What do you want from me? I asked. What I wanted was to help, she said. But there are too many of them. So many dead in Hong Kong. Accidents, suicides, murders, old ghosts, new ghosts, hungry ghosts who died with regrets. They all want to reach out. They all want one more conversation. And once you open the line, once you show them you're willing to listen, they'll never let you go. How do I stop this? You can't, Mei Ling said. I couldn't. That's why I'm here too now. I died at this desk, listening to them. And now I'm one of them. Trapped on this line forever, trying to warn whoever picks up next. The call ended, but every night for the next week, extension 4444 rang. Every single night, multiple times. I stopped answering. I would let it ring and ring, the blinking light like an accusation in my peripheral vision. My coworkers started noticing. They said I looked sick. I'd lost weight. I wasn't sleeping. How could I sleep when I knew they were calling? Dozens of ghosts, maybe hundreds, all with messages they desperately needed to deliver, all hungry for one more moment of connection with the living world. On the 7th day of the 7th month, the peak of Hungry Ghost Month, something changed. I came into work to find that my desk had been moved. I was now sitting at the old desk where Mei Ling had died. Who moved my desk? I demanded. My coworkers looked at me strangely. Marcus, you've always sat there, since you started. But that wasn't true. I remembered my original desk clearly, didn't I? That night, extension 4444 rang at exactly midnight. I knew I shouldn't answer. I knew. But my hand moved on its own, reaching for the phone. Marcus, Mei Ling's voice said. It's time. Time for what? To understand. You died 2 weeks ago. You were hit by a minibus in Mongkok. Do you remember? No. That was wrong. I was alive. I was sitting at my desk. I was breathing. I could feel my heart beating. Couldn't I? You've been calling this number, Mei Ling continued gently. Every night. Trying to reach your mother. Trying to tell her you're sorry you didn't visit more. That you're sorry you were always too busy. But she can't hear you. She thinks she's just getting prank calls from a blocked number. No, I said. No, I'm alive. I'm here. I'm talking to you. You are, Mei-Ling said. Because I'm answering. Because I know what it's like to be hungry for connection, to have things left unsaid. So I've been helping you, Marcus. I've been connecting your calls. But you need to understand now. You need to accept it. I looked around the call center. The other workers, where were they? When was the last time I'd actually spoken to any of them? When was the last time I'd left the building? I tried to remember going home. I couldn't. I could only remember being at this desk, waiting for calls, listening to voices. The line goes both ways, Mei-Ling said. The living can call the dead can call the living. And sometimes, the dead don't realize they're on the wrong side of the line. I stood up from my desk, or tried to, but I couldn't feel my legs. I looked down and saw that I was fading, becoming translucent. I could see through my hands. No, this wasn't possible. I tried to remember the accident Mei-Ling mentioned. Slowly, in fragments, it came back. Stepping off the curb, looking at my phone. The blare of a horn, the impact, the long darkness, and then waking up at my desk, confused, thinking I'd just dozed off during a shift. But that had been weeks ago. Weeks of coming to work, of sitting at this desk, of waiting for someone to answer, waiting for someone to hear me. I picked up the phone. My hand passed through it slightly, like trying to grab smoke, but I could still hear the dial tone. The line was still open. What do I do now? I asked Mei-Ling. What we all do, she said. We wait. We listen. And when someone alive picks up extension 4444, when someone is compassionate enough or foolish enough to answer a ghost's call, we help them connect. We pass messages. We give the hungry ghosts their moment of peace. And then we wait for our own call to be answered. For someone to connect us to the people we left behind. For someone to help us say the things we never got to say. I'm still here. At the desk on the 15th floor. During Hungry Ghost Month, extension 4444 rings constantly. Most people don't answer. They've learned. They know better now. But every once in a while, someone new gets hired for the night shift. Someone who doesn't know the stories. Someone who thinks they're too rational, too modern, too educated to believe in ghosts. And they answer. And I try to warn them. Just like Mei-Ling tried to warn me. But the line goes both ways, and sometimes it's hard to tell who's calling whom. If you work at a call center in Hong Kong, if you see extension 4444 light up during Hungry Ghost Month, if you hear the ring of a phone that shouldn't be connected, don't answer it. Because the hungry ghosts are always calling, always waiting, always hoping that someone will pick up. And once you answer, once you open that line, you might discover that you've been on the wrong side of it all along. The calls never stop. The line is always open. And somewhere, someone is waiting for you to answer.